Just when you thought FPUC was expiring in a few days, in some places, it expired today. Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today on a very, very windy day. This video is about unemployment benefits, FPUC, that's $600 from the federal government, UIF, the extension of UI benefits, and everything else that's really at flux. Let me get right to the news. There's really some shocking and great news today, and I got it all over the place, so let's get right to it. First of all, I detailed to you last week that FPUC is expiring this week. Well, people were very kind to DM me and message me that in some states, FPUC has already now expired. So what's going on? I had given you a warning about this. The confusion about benefits is that a lot of states don't pay benefits to the exact, actually, no state pays benefits to the exact day. They pay benefits on a weekly basis, and their week of certification depends on the state you're in. So in some states, that $600 from the federal government has already now expired here on Monday. Other states, it may not expire until Friday. As you know, FPUC, the $600 from the federal government, by law doesn't actually expire this week. It's not written to expire this week, but because of the way in which states pay benefits, some states are not paying FPUC starting this week and have now dropped it. So what's going on? Let me explain the confusion about FPUC, because I know this one might be a little bit more confusing than other things. FPUC is on top of UI, is on top of PUA. FPUC is $600 from the federal government. It's approved in the CARES Act, the first stimulus package. The first stimulus package said the federal government will pay people on UI, unemployment benefits, and PUA, independent contractors, an additional $600. The money comes from the federal government. It doesn't come from the states. But it said that bill, which became law in May, would expire in late July. Well, it's expiring this week generally, and some states has already expired. So what does that mean? Well, it means that ultimately, if you're on UI or PUA, you are no longer, let me phrase it a different way. You are not stopping UI or PUA this week. I want you to understand that. UI and PUA are one thing. FPUC, that $600 from the federal government, is a different thing. So however the state would normally pay you the $600 per week, they're just going to stop paying it this week. There's nothing else you have to do. There's nothing else you have to request. There's nothing else you have to apply for. A lot of viewers have asked me, do I have to physically do something else? No, that's the good news. The good news is that FPUC was on top of what you already did. What you do need to do, and I've made this as really clear, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to, smack you with this paper if you don't listen to me. Get your file on file for UI or PUA right away, like today, if you are eligible. Don't wait, because those programs that are part of the first stimulus package are expiring for receiving new applicants in a couple of days. Let me say that another way. You know how things are when a thing is off, when a program is offered, and they say, we'll accept people, start applying to this day, but you can't apply after tomorrow. That's what we're facing with UI and PUA benefits that are tied to federal issues of the first stimulus package. Those are expiring in a couple of days. So if you qualify for PUA, apply today. If you qualify for UI, which is not inherently part of the federal program, UI, unemployment benefits, are state run, but there's additional benefits to it that have been provided in the first stimulus package, which I'll get to in a second. Those you're going to get if you apply today. If you wait to apply in late July, when it all expires, when the first stimulus package expires, you won't get those benefits under the first stimulus package. You may get them under the second stimulus package, but I don't want you to wait. Don't wait. So what's going on? What is he talking about? Let me explain to you. First of all, let's do PUA, independent contractors. My independent contractor, self-employed. You're a gig worker, you're Uber or Lyft, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a painter, you are a dog walker, you're an independent contractor. Okay, you have, under the first stimulus package, 30-something weeks of benefits. It provides you 30-something weeks of benefits. I always mess it up. I say 33, someone drops the comments 39, it's 36. It's 30-something weeks of benefits. That's a lot of weeks. I mean, that's all fine. The problem is you got to get on the program. You don't get on the program, you're not on the program. So that's the first thing. Second, I get all these great questions. I love when I get great questions because it means you're following me and you're figuring out how important these things are. Viewers say, I've been impacted since March. How do I do this? Very simple. When you apply, you say your date of impact is that date in March. Don't say today if it really is March. Why? Because there's March, April, May, June, July. You got 5 months of benefits you are making a mistake on. Literally be very, very careful when applying for benefits, because if you've been impacted because of COVID-19 for many, many weeks, and you list today as your date of impact, you have just lost out on 5 months of benefits. So make sure you're very careful about that. So if you apply on PUA, you get done with this video, watch all my other videos this week. Today you share and like them, and you do everything you're supposed to do as a nice viewer. You go and apply for PUA, because I tell you apply for PUA if you qualify. Apply literally today. You apply. Well, great news. I mean, the great news is you get those 30 weeks forward. And if you said your certification date, your start date is March, great. So it's March forward 30-something weeks. Great. That's not going to expire. That's not going to expire. But if you don't do anything, you sit around and eat donuts, and someone says I have a thing against Seinfeld. I got to do a gig. I got to do a line. I mean, yeah, sit around and eat donuts and watch Jake Trapper. Okay, that's my line for today. Then you're not going to get the benefits of the first stimulus package, which was 30-something weeks. I don't know what the second stimulus package is going to say about PUA. It may say, we'll give you PUA for 10 weeks. Well, wait a second. You could have got 30-something weeks if you got on the first stimulus package, so don't wait around. UI people, you're the same thing. UI people have this wonderful thing. It's great news under the first stimulus package of all these additional weeks of extended benefits. What am I talking about? It's very, very simple. When you're normally on unemployment, not this year, not this horrible, crazy year, but let's say you're on unemployment in 2018. Your state has a certain number of weeks of unemployment benefits. Pretty easy. And when those expire, they expire. That's it. Tough luck. They're expired. Well, the good news is 2019, everything is giving you extensions. The first stimulus package gave you an extension of UI benefits, additional weeks. But you got to get on file. You don't get on file, you're not under the first stimulus package. So if you wait to August to apply, it's like, I've been busy. I've been watching Jake Trapper and eating my donuts. Well, suddenly you're not going to get the benefits of the first stimulus package's interpretation of UI, which gives you additional weeks of benefits. That's why it's so important to get these things on file. All right, so that's that part of today's developments. But let me get to really what's going on in the news, which is, boy, it's going like a bad surf at the beach that sort of, you think it's going one direction, suddenly it turns another way. I gotta go over this all with you because it's just, your head's gonna spin, because my head was spinning. Okay, Senator John Barrasso, who's a Wyoming Republican, was asked about FPUC, that's $600 from the federal government, expiring this week. And he said, if I have Wyoming viewers, tell me if this is normal, because I don't think this is normal. He says, I don't want to talk about stimulus. I don't like the word stimulus. I rather call it recovery. I don't like it when people say, I don't want to call it that. I want to call it something other than that. It's called a second stimulus package. It's called a second stimulus check. It's called stimulus. So you don't like the word. I don't know. We're going to call it stimulus, Senator. I don't know why you're calling it something else. So he says, I don't like calling it word stimulus. I'd rather call it recovery. I want to craft a program towards recovery. And he doesn't want to focus on giving relief. He wants to focus on helping people get back to work and kids getting back to school. First of all, that doesn't work, Senator, because people can't get back to work because states are going on lockdown. And they're going to go on lockdown. And I really don't understand, and I'm not being partisan here, but I really don't understand whether it's Gavin Newsom, who's a Democrat, or Senator Barrasso, who's a Republican. I don't understand this notion of we're not necessarily going to go on lockdown. We're not necessarily going to go here. We're getting back to work. No. Situations are such that things can't get back to work. And some people can't get back to work. Their place of work has been shut down by COVID-19 or by lockdown orders. They don't have a place of work. They've been laid off, furloughed, or lost their jobs. So why are you talking about helping people get back to work when in situations, they can't get back to work? He's focused on flexibility. When asked whether or not $600 should be reactivated, the senator echoed other Republicans are arguing it should be thrown away because people make more money at home than they made at their jobs. Well, maybe they should throw the senator away because you haven't done much for your citizens as well. Did I just say that? Yeah, I said that. I mean, I'm not mincing my words here. If you want other people to mince words for you, come on. Ultimately, what's going to really happen is come August, come this week, the $600 from the federal government is expiring. The law itself is going to likely expire. The FPUC law, the first stimulus package, is going to expire. But I really do think that a second stimulus package is going to extend benefits. Will it be at $600 a week? Possibly. Will it be reduced? Likely. $400, $300 a week. Will it be thrown to the curb and never used? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Will it be replaced with the Portman plan or the Brady plan where we're not going to even give you benefits? We're just going to give you money if you get back to work? No, that's sort of ridiculous because that assumes you have a place to go back to work. I really don't understand where these people continually talking about that people want to stay at home. There's a certain kind of series of lines that I hear on a daily basis, and I'm hearing from Barrasso today, and I repeat it on a daily basis, and I just don't understand where they're getting this from. People want to stay at home and not work. I have no viewer that wants to stay at home and not work. Every viewer I have does not want to stay at home. I mean, no one who wants to stay in their house all day long from here to next February. It's just stupid. Second, who doesn't want to work? People just want to sit home and put their feet up and collect a check. I have never seen any indications of that. All the viewers of this channel, and drop in the comments below, none of the viewers of this channel have ever said, I want to just stay at home and collect unemployment and not work. That's really what's disconcerting. And so it's when people talk about the Brady plan, which is giving you $1,200 to go back to work, which doesn't work if you can't go back to work. There's no place to go back to work. Or the Portman plan, which pays you $445 to go back to work on top of what you're working per week. Well, that is a sensible bill if you have a job to go back to work at. But if you have no job to go back and work at, why is Portman giving you money? Is suggesting such a thing? The economics of the situation are very clear. Josh Bivens, the director of research at the Economic Policy Institute, says that ending $600 per week would literally be economic disaster. It's good economics and good health policy because Americans are facing unsafe work or poverty. Ultimately, where we have the situation going is that economists are very clear. One of the things that is most apparent is that you have to ensure that there's financial stability and that overcompensating people should really not be in your mindset. If you sit back and you're a Republican or you're Steve Mnuchin, who says this on a daily basis, we're overcompensating people with FPUC. Overcompensating things is not a bad thing. Undercompensating them because you were too whatever the adjective you want to use, miserly, if you are too miserly, too stingy, too cautious, however you want to qualify it, if you do that, what's going to happen is you could absolutely have financial destruction, because people who don't have money to eat or live, people that are made homeless because you thought, I saw that report. I thought I didn't have to pay them enough money. I didn't have to pay them $600 a week. I thought $400 a week would be enough. It may not be enough. Ultimately, the economics out there are very clear that a lot of states, paying $90 a week for unemployment benefits is not enough. You get rid of $600, you're going to ask people to make rent, pay utilities, put food on their table at $90 a week in some states, or $130 a week. How about California? Let me use California as a simple example. $167 per week is the base level of benefits on UI or PUA. So when FPUC expires at $600 a week, you're telling people, you can live on $167 a week, through this pandemic. You can do the math. $167 per week times $4 for 4 weeks per month. That's not enough for rent. Okay, so it's not enough. It's barely enough for food. It's not enough for utilities. So where are these people sitting back and thinking that people can survive? Ultimately, they can do these reports that say that 2/3 of Americans are allegedly, and I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. That 2/3 of Americans receiving FPUC are getting more than they got when they were employed. I don't buy the report. I really don't buy it. But let's assume the report is true. Well, let's do the reverse scenario. Let's get rid of $600 per week and see if anyone can survive on $167 per week in the state of California that's on 80% lockdown. They can't. I mean, Steve Mnuchin knows that. Larry Kudlow knows that. Mitch McConnell knows that. Every person out there that's trying, and Garasso knows, if I said his name correctly, knows that. You can't live on $167 a week. So what are we doing here? Ultimately, I want you to stay informed and educated and positive. The debate about PUA is going to really heat up because it is headline news on every single major news channel this week, and it was the same way last week. As always, stay motivated, stay smiling, stay positive, stay focused, and stay educated, and stay with LALATE for more.